Well, welcome back to the Roundtable Podcast. I'm here with Eddie today. Eddie is one of the newest members of the Pomerleau real estate team. Eddie, how long have you been a real estate agent? We'll start there.
I'm going to say all my life, but as a licensed real estate agent, I've been for the past 4 years.
4 years, okay.
Within 4 years, yeah.
Within 4 years. So what industry were you in previously that you said, you know what, I want to, and then what caused you to shift into becoming a real estate agent?
That's a loaded question.
Asterisks.
But I was in veterinary medicine. I've been in veterinary medicine basically all of my life, more than anything else in my life. I was in veterinary medicine for 25 years.
Wow.
I went from general practice to specialty medicine. And within the specialty, I saw neurology, oncology, surgery, and internal medicine. And then the last quarter of that was all oncology.
Wow.
Both in radiation.
So what causes you to shift?
The shift from one to...
I mean, veterinarian, right? So you got coffee, the veterinarians, world, right? For 25 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Very cool. And then into real estate,
Yeah.
right? Where did that, what was in life and where did that transition happen?
COVID.
Okay. COVID, that would make sense.
That's when it happened, right?
Okay. You came from out of state too. You were in Miami, correct?
Yes, I grew up in Miami and moved around quite a lot. I lived in North Carolina.
Okay.
And ended up in Minnesota. And in Minnesota is where I truly found myself in a crossroad of what I wanted to do. After 25 years of veterinary medicine, I was like, what do I want to do? And I remember having a conversation with somebody really special to me. And it was, she knew me and understood me really well and said, you know what you always wanted to do? It's, sell real estate. And I did. I listened to her and jumped into it. I'm the type of person that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it 1,000%. I'm not just going to halfway do it.
I see that. I see that every day, right? And I think that's one of the reasons I'm so excited that you're here because, one, you're obviously very present on social media. You got a great family, and you're just out there working hard.
Yeah.
Right. And I can see with your clients and how much time and energy and effort you spend with them. And in the 4 years, real estate is a very tough business, right? Most agents don't make it. And to be honest with you, you got into real estate probably at one of the worst times ever to get into real estate, right?
For a new agent, it was.
For a brand new agent. So what has caused you to be successful and be able to still be plugging away and still doing the business?
Honesty.
Honesty.
To be honest, yeah. To be honest, honesty. It really is.
What does that mean? Tell me more.
What does that mean? It means to be, when I'm showing a house or when I'm talking to a client, I'm pretty honest with them. I let them know the process, what they're gonna pay out of their pocket up front, and just know that it's a privilege to be a homeowner. I don't think for somebody that wakes up and says, I'm going to own a house. Yes, that's possible, but it's a privilege to own a house. It takes you taking care of your credit.
Yep.
Taking care of making sure you have some good savings.
Yeah, saving money.
Yeah. So, being upfront with them, it's always key. And I like doing a lot of the work upfront. So when it goes into the process, it's an easy, smooth road.
Sure. So setting expectations for them in a positive way, but being very honest about it.
Yeah, honesty.
So do you send them videos of things too? If they have a question on inspections, do you send them videos on inspections? Or do you just talk on the phone? Or how do you relay that information to set those expectations?
So yeah, I like to go into the steps of owning, of getting to the table, as a matter of fact.
Sure.
So, week one, what happens in week one? So it's not so much video, it's more so talking to them and through the process and explaining the reasons why you want to do an inspection and how we could utilize that inspection and what a great tool it really is.
Yeah. So a lot of your business is referral-based business. Right. So
1000%.
Yeah. Right. And so obviously you're doing something right and setting those expectations and being very honest with them. Your clients must really appreciate that because they're referring you off to other people. So that's when you go back to the question I asked about honesty. Is that kind of what you're referring to?
That is exactly what I'm referring to. And the reason I said honesty is because I like to treat people the way I want to be treated.
Golden rule. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And the more, if you're honest out front with me, you have a friend for life. Not only a friend for life, but somebody that will go to battle for you and fight for you and defend you and protect you as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You struck me from the first time we met as somebody that would be honest to my face and protect me behind my back.
Yes.
Right. That's a rare quality for people. And when you find those people, like, you got to latch on to them.
That's what I seek in friendships and building relationships and the work I do. I think I had a great foundation when it came to that. And I like to also hand it off to my daughter.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I want her to be the same and have that, for the lack of a word, good karma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Setting a good example for our kids.
Great example.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge reason. Now your daughter plays soccer, right?
She does.
Okay, and you coach soccer, right?
I do.
Okay, so are you good at soccer or are you good at coaching soccer? Or both?
Neither.
Or do you call it football?
No, I call it soccer. As a matter of fact, soccer was never in my life. I played football, American football. I was a running back. And then I wrestled also. But never did soccer. It was too boring for me. Too much running.
Much running.
Yeah. But yes, in the last 2 years, she has introduced me to a great, beautiful game. There's a lot of things that you do in defense and in an offense that could translate to life as well too.
Well, I think sports teach a lot. Teamwork, fair play. There's a million things like my kids. I make sure they play sports. They have to.
Yeah.
Because the life lessons in there are invaluable.
The commitment and the love that you have for it, kind of translates to life. And that's what I think in real estate. I find myself committed to it. I respect the industry. I learned from the get-go to what not to do in real estate. And it's not about the sale. It's about the connection that you have with the person and connecting families, both the sellers and buyers, to have a great experience. We're in both sides of the transaction, right? So it's always good to play fair. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you said transaction, and we do a lot of transactions right on the Palm team. But we are very, and you said also that we're in a relationship business, right? I think for you, it's very apparent that you spend the time to build the relationship, not to have a transaction. Right. It's. I mean, I hear you on the phone. I see how many conversations you have. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that I could say like cares more about their client.
I don't think I'm a salesperson, to be honest.
Well, you are, but salespeople help people if your power is used for good.
Yeah.
Salespeople can also use their power for bad. You know, they use car salesman type of thing. And I obviously at the team we have none of those. We're all here just to provide value and help people. And I think that's what one of the other things that attracted us together.
That is the main thing that attracted me to the Parmelo team. I noticed that everybody was coming from an area of good and almost a giver. Mm-hmm. I asked questions and everybody was willing to help. From the moment that I wasn't even signed, I was having an issue with with my listing, and this person was like, if you have any questions, go to our broker. I know you know, and our broker will answer. And it was just like, that is willing to give, not to hold back, willing to help, and not to take. It was key for me, and I'm in that spot in my life where I want to help, and I come from in veterinary medicine we say, learn one, do one, teach one, right? And I feel I could bring that mentality into real estate.
Absolutely.
And I found that here where you people are learning, you're doing,
Yeah.
and you're teaching. And it's great. I mean, you have been by far, like one of the persons that in so little time I've learned so much more that I have in the past 3 years, to be honest. So thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And it's been just little conversations where tweaked it from a perspective of not taking, just giving.
Mm-hmm.
And I come back to that, giving instead of taking, because you showed me a different way, a more like almost loving way, you know, like caring way. I don't know. I'm lacking words here to describe it. It was just like, I never thought of it that way. And I'm glad you said it because, yeah, it makes complete sense.
Well, thank you. I guess it's probably because I
thank
screwed
you.
up at some point in the past, and I learned the wrong way to do it so many times. But we do. I think everybody on the team, we just come from a place of caring, and we want to just provide value. I'm all about give it all away. I mean, any information you have, just take it and run with it and give it away.
It's a very well-oiled machine. I think here at the Parmelo team, I could go to different players in the team and that are doing different things, and they have the experience. Like I could go to Andy and get information regarding how to do something, how to set something up when it comes to media or anything in relation to video, or even how to use a microphone, you know. And then we have our transaction coordinators that are just above and beyond amazing, and you go to them and they have a smile on there and they're willing to help you, and they're like, don't worry, I got this, you know. And that's what really sets teams apart, I think. And also makes everybody better, and we all have the same common goal at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
Building something good.
When you were deciding to shop around to see which team to go to and everything, and we got introduced, like what were the things that you were looking for? Like, and I really appreciate the things that you said already, but what were the main reasons you joined the Pomerol team? Like the top three, like really fast off the top of your head.
Top of my head, that professionalism, care, and education.
There it is. Well, those are all very important things to us, so that's good they come across.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into you as an agent a little bit here.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to help a vast variety of clientele, different areas of the Twin Cities. Do you have a specific client that you like to help, or are you a specific area you like to work in, or are you just like anything and everything?
Well, since my background comes from the veterinary world, I cater a lot to the veterinary world.
Okay. Does that mean animal lovers or people that are working medicine or
people in the industry?
People in the industry. Sure.
So from a doctor to a veterinary technician to the staff.
Okay. Yep.
And in the hospital, there's staff everywhere. It's also, there's so many players as well too in that industry, and knowing their background, knowing how an emergency doctor or nurse schedule works, it's pretty easy for me to cater to them because I know that. I know when to bother them, when not to, when to expect documents to be signed,
sure.
And not stress of like, we need this signed today. Right. So it's very easy for me to have those conversations, and I could always relate to them.
So that's kind of where you found one of your tribes, if you will.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I didn't go too far, it was under my nose really, per se, right?
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, and it's very rewarding because it's not an industry that they're not in it for the money.
No, that probably very much like all the things that you had touched on that you're like.
Yeah.
They probably have the same emotion and same.
And in comparison to like maybe to like the human medicine, they get 10% of like what human.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So like a veterinary technician, it's not top pay dollars, right?
Sure. They do it for the love of the animal.
They
and
do it for the
people, 'cause
love
we
of
love our pets.
yeah.
We love our pets. From a guinea pig to a horse, right?
Yeah, and we dislike people sometimes, But in my case, is I love people,
I know you do.
So I love people. I love talking, connecting with people. I'm new to Minnesota. I'm not new, but I've been here long enough to. But always getting to know the locals, getting to know Minnesotans, how they are, and I just love Minnesota. But getting back to the subject, they have a hard time sometimes when it comes economically wise and money, because it's not top dollars that they're getting paid.
Sure.
But they're in high demand. In high demand. So having the tools that I didn't have and presenting those tools to them, that you don't need 10% down, you don't need 20% down. We could get you down payment assistance. We could get you a grant to go along with that payment assistance.
Yeah.
And just combining them, they're surprised how much they could owe, and that they're actually more than ready to get into a house. Another thing was baby doctors, we call them, right? They're fresh out of university, and they don't have the work experience, but they have a contract. But they don't know that college experience, we could utilize that as work experience. And
Yeah, because if they have a contract, they can actually buy like 60 days before they even start their job.
Correct. There's so many components and so many information that it's not aware or they don't have access to, and that's where I come in. And then it's like, no, you could actually buy a house. But you start the process, and the sooner you start the process, the better you know where you're at today, right?
Absolutely.
And that goes for everybody, not just veterinary medicine.
Or what steps you need to take to get to where you want to go.
Right. And
the sooner you know that, the better you're off.
Yeah.
You can go, the better off planning is going to be. Everything's going to be better.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I never think that there's a no, there's a how to.
Love that. Yes.
How
never
can we
no, it's just how. Yeah, how to.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that's where I come in. And that's where I get, I don't know, for the lack of word, pleasure out of real estate, where I find that I love real estate as much as sometimes things don't work out your way or the way they're supposed to, because real estate isn't up and down. It's kind of like the market, and it goes hand in hand with the market. But
it's a roller coaster.
It is a roller coaster.
Sometimes we're out of control. Sometimes we're crawling uphill, and other times we're taking the ride down. It's very volatile. It takes a very special type of person to be able to handle this business.
Yeah, it's not the physical work, because there's really lack of physical work, but it's all the mental work. And mental work could take a toll on you.
Well, when you're protecting people with huge amounts of money, and making sure they're protected and not making a big mistake, that takes a big, that's a lot of weight on someone's shoulders.
There's times where being awake 4 a.m, just thinking and making sure that things are done right.
Yeah. So when everyone says we're overpaid, try being us for 24 hours and not sleeping because you're worried about somebody else.
You will run back loving your job.
100.
Your daytime job. You will run back. No matter what it is, you're like, I'll take a pay cut just to come back.
Yep.
Because it's a very stressful, very mindful, stressful job.
It is.
And then when you care even more, because they're, it's just fear. It's people that, judge you the closest almost, right?
So then why do we do it? We should, why do we do it then?
Why do we do it? That's a
great
question.
Why do we do it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think you'll get 20 million different answers. But I think, are we masochists?
We're glutton for punishment.
Yeah. We hate ourselves. What is it,
We care. We want to use our salesmanship for good. Yeah. And I think that helping people with such a big financial decision, they need somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
I work more weekends today than I ever did in my life.
Yep.
I work more nights than I did, past 6 o'clock. Yep. I'm out there driving in different conditions here in Minnesota.
If you got a snowstorm, I still want to see the house.
Yeah.
It's downpouring rain, I still want to see the house.
Yeah.
Right?
I think Minnesotans, just like the trees here are very resilient to the
Very
weather,
resilient.
you know, very much so. The tree gets pounded with snow, wind, and all that, and in spring it's beautiful, right?
Yep.
Minnesotans are the same way.
Good analogy. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Pummeled.
Just or the grass. You tell me anything naturally here. It's just it's very resilient. So
Yep.
it's also made me resilient as well too. I'm not scared of being out there. I'll be the agent that will go and get out in the snowstorm if I need to, just to cater to especially to the veterinary world, because sometimes they might not have that time to go see it.
Yeah.
So it always kind of circles back to that.
Sure.
And
you've helped people outside of veterinarian, obviously, with soccer. You're involved with the kids stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're only going to help those people. You're going to help anybody, but you connected the most with that group.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. That is 1,000% fair.
Because if I was buying a house and I wasn't in this business, I would be looking for someone like you to help me buy a house, right? Someone that cares more about the whole process and me than almost I do, right?
Yeah.
Someone that's going to look out for my best interests and make sure I'm not making a big mistake,
Right.
right? And then is a decent negotiator and can talk to the other agent and just keep my stress level as low as possible.
Yes. Correct. And, and I've worked with different people from different walks of life.
Sure.
And looking at my Google reviews, and it's
5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars,
Yeah.
5 stars, 5 stars.
Yeah, that's like
Yep.
my baby. That's where I think I get, oh wow, I appreciate this, what I'm doing, and people appreciate it. And it's not, and it's everybody across in Minnesota, whether you're military or not, or whether you're, in Medtronics or you name it, it's I love it.
Yeah.
I love connecting with people and getting to know them. And it's all about that. The more I know people, the better I do in this business,
Well, yeah.
Why a team lead? And why do you like it? Because it could be hard, right? You're trying to show somebody, it's hard, but it could also be easy for you once you get into the habit of doing things, right? Mm-hmm. So it's that coaching part of it. Mm-hmm. Why do you still do it? Why?
I'm a glutton for punishment.
Okay.
Just like a rage. No, I am very lucky and blessed that I have a very wide bandwidth and the ability to take a lot on. So it's only fair that I use that bandwidth for good and to help others, right? 4 kids, coaching multiple hockey teams, helping 50 people a year buy and sell real estate, helping coaching and training, running the team meetings, like all that stuff. It could overwhelm somebody, very easily in each individual category, right? So I just feel like because I have such a big bandwidth, I better use that for good. And so I have chosen to be in a position to help as many people as I can succeed in their business, along with other people around me, right? It's not just me, for sure. But I get a bigger high helping somebody and seeing them closing a transaction than even me. Like I get like excited about that.
Yeah.
And when I saw myself getting more excited about Eddie closing a deal than me, I was like, well, I probably should be over here helping them just do more of that then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your number one tool that you use to organize all of that in your life?
Oh man, thank God I have a great wife who has to remind me like 10 times for anything on our calendar. But I've used trial and error, right? I know how to structure my day, right? So when I wake up, I know I have to do my workout. I know that between this and this time, I have to get the top priority items done, right? And so I'm really good at structure and organization in such a way that I know how much business I can do, and then how much time I can kind of give, if that makes sense.
And I ask that because I see how focused you are, and how, as you might seem to be in a lot of things in different places and at different times, you're still very focused in running each of whatever you're doing at a high level. So
Well, thank you. I try.
Yeah.
You know, all we can do is try.
Yeah, that's what I'm striving for too, to just do things at a high level. And I think with the Parmelo team, I'm able to do that, to elevate me and elevate my clients' experience to a higher level.
Yeah.
I want to be the obvious choice.
I think that's, to me, that's apparent, right? You know, you asked a good question, and I think it's worth noting is sometimes you got to let something burn.
Yeah.
Right? And what I mean by that is sometimes there's areas of your life that it's just too low of a priority and you can't let it bother you. You just got to let it burn, and whatever happens over there happens it, because this area of focus is too important. Mm-hmm. Right? So I don't wake up at 4 a.m. anymore worrying about a client, because I put things in my life that allows me to not have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that it just takes time.
Yeah.
And it takes failure after failure to figure out what not to do again.
There are a lot of things and a lot of parts of a transaction where you have no control of it. So the more you want to control that, the worse it is of an experience for you, and that's what will keep you up at night.
Yeah.
So
there's too many things in this business to keep you up at night, right? Mm-hmm. And the closer you can get to like being accepting of things that you can't control, even though you care about these people so much,
yeah,
right? And you want nothing but the good for them. You're right. There's many things in this business that are just out of our control, mm-hmm. and if it's out of my control, then I'm gonna just leave it alone.
Yeah.
And if I have to go and play fix it man,
yeah,
which is 90% of our business.
Right? You know, that's what I like about the Parmelo team too, though, that there are some things that I don't need to worry about anymore.
Oh yeah.
And I'm so blessed to have that, and for you guys, for the team to provide that it makes my life so much easier, and I could focus more on the client experience.
Yeah. You get to go spend time with your clients more now than you ever have.
Yeah.
You get to build a deeper relationship. You get to hang out with them more. You get to go shopping more. You get to go more. You can help more people.
I love the forms because I feel like a lawyer. But I much rather be connecting and talking and clearing out. And, you know, just kind of like what we're doing right now, just, you know, getting to know each other and getting to a different place without having to worry about all the documentation and the connection with title, insurance, and
ordering photos and ordering staging consultation.
Right.
And this and that. It's
right.
It's nice to have the support.
Yeah.
Like that's the number one thing I'd say has impacted my life the most, is having support.
And I think to close this, I think that was one of the main focus and what I was looking for in a team. Experience, you know, it's another one. So instead of 3, it's 4. The experience that you guys have, and what can I say? You guys, we have a very well-oiled machine here.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
and I'm glad you're part of it. And I'm really excited to see how much we do together.
Yeah, we'll touch back in 10 years and see how we feel, right?
10 years from now.
10 years from now.
Tune in. Make sure you subscribe, watch, comment. So
we're more gray, more droopy.